Welcome, everybody. And some of you know Jerry, many of you know Jerry. And for those that don't, so Jerry's talking about the new world order of marketing. Now, many of you, if you've had your ears open, have heard this conversation about the new world order for what, probably a couple of decades now. And I have good Christian friends who don't like the term new world order at all. Mm-hmm. But that's a whole nother conversation. We'll have the Armageddon webinar another time. But what I hear when I hear New World Order is I hear connection, I hear care, I hear, I hear a mum that can juggle and manage all the things that a mum juggles and manages, which, no dad, not this dad ever really gets, but really does acknowledge. And, I hear someone that is stepping boldly into her future and is really, really worth hitching your wagon to. So on that, I'll introduce Jerry Penny, the nurture queen of video. Take it away.
Thank you, Alistair. Look, I for those of you who aren't muted, just make sure that you mute yourself so that we don't have any background noise, and try not to get too distracted by
how do people take part, Jerry?
Oh yes,
Good
yes,
call.
totally.
How do people take part?
Chime in at any time, please, and ask questions. But just someone said they're losing me. Are they? Losing you and Alistair and Jerry.
No, you are loud and clear, Jerry.
Okay, all right.
I've stopped my video.
Okay,
I'm cooking dinner.
all right. Okay, cool. Yes, so please chime in, anyone, and stop me whenever you want. I am sharing a presentation tonight because this is it is a presentation that I did a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't come up with this name, New World Order of Marketing. And in fact, when I did share it around, someone did say to me, "Oh, I don't like that title. It's a bit iffy." And so I kind of had to look up what it really meant. And so anyway, it was all a bit of an eye-opener to me. So anyway, what this is referring to is the new world that we are living in as consumers, as business owners, as mums and dads and kids and cousins and everything like that, and how we're all living and how we're all behaving in the ways that we're consuming information and the ways that we are absorbing information and everything like that. And I don't know about you, but like when this pandemic started, I was craving information on all sorts of things. Like for the first time in my life, I read an email from Coles and Woolies because I wanted to know what the restrictions were in the shopping and things like that. So this really has been a really, really different time in our lives. And so what I'm sharing tonight is a little bit more about that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to jump into sharing Keynote here. And so, yeah, basically this was just a really cool image that I found. And I just, it was just something to think about that has happened. All the things that have actually accelerated during these times. Automation has. There's been a higher ed implosion. So the university system kind of fell apart there for a while. E-commerce has accelerated, working from home has, urban migration, social distancing has accelerated, tech dominance, and a flexitarian diet. I had to look up what that was. Basically, it means you're a vegetarian, but you eat a little bit of meat here and there. So that's what a flexitarian is. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting image of all these things that, although like a lot of people are saying that we're in an economic downturn time, there's still about 30% of businesses that are absolutely booming. And so what I want to take you on the journey on tonight is about how you could be adapting your business to be one of the booming ones. So what's the 2020 experience all about? Well, I've just got a few examples of some ads that I grabbed off my phone here, and I just wanted to explain to you what's working and what's not working in the world of video ads. So I don't know if it's going to play the sound, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't. So basically, there's a few examples here, and you might hear this one.
90 seconds.
I've just hit share content sound. Can you guys hear it? Right, that one's gone quiet. All right, so what
we could hear it, Jerry.
You could, yeah. It didn't really matter anyway. But what my point here is that most ads on our phones and all videos actually in our lives that we're watching on our phones and everything like that, we watch them on silent. So what my point here is, did any of these videos make any sense when I watched them on silent on my phone, you know, getting ads on games and things like that? So this one, yes, it did make sense. Quite a few of them did make sense, but there were some that, like, and I watch these videos for the whole time, you know, the whole 30 seconds, or some of them even go for 60 seconds. And you look at how much these companies are paying to advertise these things, and they're not doing anything to tell you about the product properly through if people are watching them on silent. So, I mean, this ad here with the kids' chemistry, it was all right. You know, I got the point of what it was meant to be. And they showed the brand a few times and things like that. And whoever's just come on, can you just mute? But, you know, it didn't really show it right until the end, whereas they could have showed it a lot more times and given a lot more things throughout it. That one that was just on, it was talking about an ebook product, and it described the thing the whole way through. It really told you what was going on. So, you know, I just ask you to have a look at some ads every now and then, and don't just skip them, and have a look at them and just think, what actually is working for me as a consumer? What did they tell me about? What kind of emotions did that video or that ad make me feel? Did they try and involve me in any way? So there's a whole new world of video marketing that's coming out there, and I'm going to touch on a little bit of that later. But you know, just really take notice of what does work for you, because then when you come in the time in your business, if that's the case, to make your own videos, you're going to understand really what is working for you as a consumer and what's not. So, you know, what's this 2020 experience all about? So by April this year, advertisers had already pulled $50 billion globally from ad spends. And in fact, there's a bit of a movement at the moment where big companies have actually pulled even more money out of ad spend, like I think Coca Cola and a few others from ad spend on the major social media platforms, because they're putting their foot down about things like Black Lives Matter and you know, no bullying on the internet, no hate on the internet, things like that. And they're saying that stuff is spreading to it's so prevalent on those platforms. So they've actually pulled out massive amounts of dollars, and they've said we are not advertising, as they've just basically protesting about that, which is great. But what that actually means is, for you guys and us guys, the smaller guys, things are getting a little bit more affordable. And the Google spend and the Facebook spend at the moment is a little bit more attractive to us. And there's actually lots of there is Google grants and things like that out there where the advertising agencies can tap you into their Google grants to help you out with your advertising. So just something to be thinking about, that you know, even during these times, there's so many opportunities for small businesses to prosper. So, you know, a lot of brands are just moving back to basics. And if anyone's got any examples of things they've seen, let me know. But they're really, really focusing more on service and trust, and communication is like one of the biggest things, obviously. So, and, you know, more than ever, consumers are not interested in pushiness. And you can already see, you can probably think of some examples that those who have adapted their advertising right away came out on top. So, you know, I remember when this first happened that I was watching like 2 different car ads, and one car company hadn't changed anything at all. It was just sort of the usual kind of lifestyle stuff. But another place advertised that, you know, that they were doing contactless servicing, and, you know, that they would sanitize your car and everything like that. Like, they already adapted to these things. And I was going to, I'd watched this ad recently of Coca Cola, and I was trying to find an example of it on the internet, and I couldn't find it. And because I was gonna blast Coke, because recently in Victoria they were just still advertising these 20-somethings all hanging out, having a meal together, drinking a Coke and everything like that, as usual typical Coke ad is. And I thought, well, they're not social distancing. What are you doing, Coke? No wonder these kids are having KFC parties, you know. And anyway, I've got an example of a Coke ad at the end to show you. They kind of, I don't know if that was Coke Australia doing that ad or what, but I found a lovely version of a Coca-Cola ad actually later on, after looking for this bad version of the Coke ad. But I was just like, I don't know if this was a world, an Australian-wide ad, and then maybe they just really should have been showing it in Perth in Queensland or something like that. But it certainly was not appropriate to show that kind of ad in Victoria at that time. And that was before the masks even came in. So, yeah, it was just a bit strange. So you can totally think of all these businesses that have adapted in the right ways, and some that haven't, basically. So, and also, you know, it's the businesses who have invested in online purchasing journeys beforehand, they're now benefiting. And so anyone that was already involved in e-commerce, they have gone kaboom, as you know. So, and what's winning now? Anything that's live streaming, anything that's Zoom, online classes, hybrid businesses. So you can all think about some examples of, you know, people in the fitness industry and everything like that that are doing amazing things at the moment because they quickly adapted to going online. This is just an example of my karate school. So what I did was actually, they were completely freaked out when COVID hit, and they'd already started doing the 2 meters apart in the dojo, which was limiting classes to maybe 6 or 8 people or something like that. And they didn't know what to do. And I said, you know, on the last day of face-to-face classes, I said, what are you doing? They're like, oh, we just don't know. And the head office wants to do like a course. And I said, what do you mean by a course? He said, oh, you know, we'll just put up some videos on YouTube and the kids can do that. I said, no, that's not going to work. He said, why? I said, because our kids need accountability. They're not going to do their karate if we put YouTube on for them. I'm sorry, that's just not going to work. It doesn't even work with adults, you know, let alone kids. I said, they need you, scary old sensei, in their lounge room, yelling at them as normal, you know, do your push-ups, do your sit-ups, you know, ki. So he agreed with me on that. And so I helped them set this up on Zoom, set them up on how to manage the account, how to manage all the logins, how to manage the camera and the angles and the 2 different, you know, one being a host, one not being a host, things like that. And they were able to turn this over just in a matter of days. And they were running, you know, by that first week of being in lockdown, 1.0, they were already offering online classes. And we only had 2 weeks of going back face to face in the dojo, and then it hit again, and we were able to go straight back into it. They knew what they were doing. They knew how to communicate with their customers about the timetables and how to log in, and sending out 100 different Zoom links and things like that. And the great thing is that head office took this on straight away as well. Head office were very against it at the start, and they almost made my local dojo cancel it. And but we kind of fought hard as parents and said, no, this is what the kids need. And you know, it comes down to accountability. So that's what we proved to them. So here's my son doing his things in the lounge room. Oh God, it's a mess that day. Anyway, so as you can see, accountability is the key. And that's what all this remote learning and everything has taught us. This is another example of a woman that in the US that got on a local news channel, and she made it really successful doing these live online Zoom classes. And the whole point of it was that, yeah, you've got the world is your oyster when you've got, you can choose from all this stuff on YouTube, but no one's watching that stuff again because they want something live. They want something interactive. So again, this was something that I got the personal trainer in my BNI to be doing as well. I said to him straight away, I was on the phone to him, what online classes are you doing? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm still going to train people in the park and everything. And I go, but you can't do big groups anymore, and you can't do this and you can't do that. And I said, so again, he's just another person that we set up with a system of how that he could just do like $10 classes. So then he only has to get, you know, just a handful of people, and he's making the same amount of money that he was just for one client or whatever, you know, but he had so many less, he could just do so much more by offering this. And
Jerry.
Yes.
I think you've done this as a disservice. This is not marketing in the New World Order. This is like running your business. This
is running your business. This is videos. This is a bit of everything. Right. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, let's call it what it is, because many of us, when we hear marketing, New World Order, it's almost like 7 secrets. You know, like what does it mean?
7 secrets. Yeah.
But actually, you are helping people revolutionize how they do what they do.
Mm.
Now, it's not revolutionary to you, but for them, it's revolutionary.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I don't know. I think you see that, but I really wanted to acknowledge that it's a whole. The term pivot has been big in the last few years, and I'm not a fan, but you know, I get it. And that's what you're doing, is helping people see that this massive disruption is not the end of anything other than what needs to end.
Yeah.
And it's the start of what needs to start.
Yeah.
An opportunity
for that's awesome.
Refinement.
Yeah. Thank you, Tara. Yeah. Time for, certainly a time for opportunities. And, you know, my point here with the exercise classes is, so many people I know that, like, I've been doing a Feldenkrais class every Wednesday night online, and even when he could go back to doing face-to-face things, he didn't go back to doing the classes online. The classes face-to-face. He kept those online because he asked everyone, would you drive to Caulfield on a cold winter's night to come and do this class? Everyone's like, no. Why would I? I can do it from my lounge room. I can stay at home. I'm only technically checked out from my family for an hour instead of half an hour driving there, an hour there, half an hour driving back, all that kind of stuff. Why would I want to leave my home when I can do things like this online? And he can deliver it just as easily online. So,
and his customer base has gone from, at best, the Melbourne metropolitan area. To the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, even being somewhere like Caulfield, you're really just you're really not going to, it's like a gym. You're not going to attract people really more than 10, 15 kilometres away from you. Not really.
As I say, at best, Melbourne Metro. Like if he's the Anne's Pants of Feldenkrais, he might get some people coming from even, Ballarat. You don't know, like if he really had some results, he might.
Yeah.
But now anyone in the world that needs what he's got can get it, and his job is just to get out to the world and let them know.
Yeah, and the fantastic.
The key I see here for business owners, and excuse me for jumping in, is that most are not adaptable, and the adaptability comes from having a resilient and growth mindset, as well as having a mindset of, well, there's always opportunity, and just being open to, well, how do I jump into that opportunity? If you don't have the ability to do it yourself, seek out those who can assist you, like Jerry or whoever else is here that can other different aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's the whole point, is just start thinking about the hybrid business that you can create. What part of your products and services can you offer online as well as face to face? How can you adapt your business model to really think about things like, things may never ever go back to the way that they were. I really hope that that's not the case, but I'm in a BNI and we need a venue that can host us for 50 people in the room. How long is it going to be before we can have 50 people in a room and not be 1.5 meters apart? I don't know. So, it's just one of those things where all of these businesses have had to adapt, and they've had to do it quickly. And it's the ones that we're testing and measuring and improving week on, week out, that they're the ones that have succeeded. And I do have a little example of my BNI a little bit later on. One of the things I just wanted to share with you here was just, this is just about doing things like going live on Facebook. So this is our All for One account, and before we were just going live, and we saw like the videos and things were just going to 148 views, 287 reached, not very great numbers. And then Harsha in the back end, he's there tonight. I hope he's doing some of his magic. But then he started doing his magical sharing and getting things out there more. And we decided to, like for this webinar, for example, we decided not just to do it as a closed private group. We decided to always go live on Facebook. And so, after doing some of this Facebook magic, we were getting 3,000 views, nearly 15,000 reach, things like that. So, and there's another one, 2,300 views, nearly 11,000 reach. So it is amazing what you can do just by getting a little bit creative on the internet, and just the kinds of results that you can get just by doing a little bit of creativity. This was another one that I make podcasts and videos for the Victorian Parents Council, and the night that I wasn't involved, it was 818 views, and then 2 nights later when I could be involved, it was 4,000 views. So there's some really, really little creative things that you can do when you start manipulating the airwaves, basically. So this is just a little funnel that I like to talk about. A lot of people talk about their marketing funnel, but I like to talk to people about their video marketing funnel. And you can see here the different phases of the funnel. There's the awareness phase, the interest phase, the consideration, evaluation, and purchase. So you can, when you're actually planning all your content, this is actually a really cool thing to think about. And the types, the journey, and all the types of videos and content. Like you can relate this to just, picture content and things like that as well if you wanted to. But why would you? When a picture tells 1,000 words, a video tells the whole story. So why would you want to stick with boring old pictures? But anyway, this is just a really cool thing that I like to talk to people about in strategy sessions and stuff, is, you know, where they're going to take people with their videos and on what kind of journey they're going to take them on, and you know, of what stage of the funnel are your customers sitting at, basically. So it's not just about making videos these days. It is about the whole customer journey, and that there's so many different videos and types of marketing for all different stages of these funnels, be it just a marketing funnel or a video marketing funnel. So I was listening to Brad Sugars the other day, and if you don't know who Brad Sugars is, he's I don't know, this Australian action coach, I think he is his brand, and he's got some.
He started action coaching franchise many years ago.
Yep.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah, so he's got some great books about selling and everything like that, and he has he's involved in so many businesses now. So the call that I was watching him on, he was in, well, I think he lives in Las Vegas now, and he was talking about the ways that they instantly adapted a number of their businesses that they're involved in, not just coaching. Like, he's got food trucks and all sorts of things. And, you know, so instantly with the food truck thing in Las Vegas, they lost their busiest time, which would be spring for these food truck carnivals and things like that. It was all, you know, there were no carnivals on. So instantly they turned all their food trucks into just trucks that went out into the community and fed people. So they're just like, well, Tuesday is taco day. And, you know, they made really great basic meals for $6 a head or something like that. So they're the kinds of things that you think, well, especially in the events industry, how can we pivot or adapt our business to you know, fit in with the current environment. So that was a good example of you know, food businesses. Well, as we've seen here, it's the businesses that really marketed their takeaway services straight away that really have done a successful job. There's a local cafe just in Moorabbin called Arco, and he's so proud to be constantly saying, I have kept all of my staff employed this whole time because they've just focused on getting amazing takeaway meals out to families at really great prices, like family meals for $12.50 and things like that. And they've just been thriving because of that, and that they didn't just get down in the dumps and say, oh, this is not worth doing. Like, there has been a lot of other restaurants closing. A friend of mine said the other day, she just wanted to get Thai in Parkdale, and she could not get Thai in Parkdale because both businesses had closed down. And, you know, that's such a shame that, you know, of all those times that a food business couldn't survive. So, but one of the biggest things that Brad Sugars said was that, you know, this is a massive time for positive communication. And he says, you've got to move people from fear to focus and give them somewhere to go. Because if people focus on the fear, you know, we just know what happens with all the social media stuff at the moment, you know, like the anti-maskers and, oh my God, you know, that it's just all this negativity, and people will focus on that. So if you can focus, give people something good to focus on as your business, then that is going to be so much better for your business. And your communication levels need to increase massively. So if you were communicating once a week, then you need to be doing it once a day now. And like I said at the start, you know, I was looking out for emails from Coles and Woolies to tell me what was going on with their pasta levels and how much rice I could buy, things like that. So,
so Jerry,
yeah,
question for you on that.
Yeah.
What sort of consistency should we, if you're saying that we should be putting stuff out on a daily basis or something like that, are you talking about just an Insta post or a Facebook post or emails or videos?
Whatever your chosen thing is. Is that David that was talking? Is David?
Yeah, sorry, it's David here.
whatever you're already doing, just make it clear. Don't shy. I mean, you're not one to shy away, but you know, a lot of people have just gone quiet, or they're not communicating what they're doing. And,
I agree.
And or they're just like, oh, it's doom and gloom. What's the point? I'm just going to get JobKeeper, and I'll just survive until September. You know, no, that's
businesses are dead by then.
Yeah,
6
exactly.
months on.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a
dead, and JobKeeper will not save you.
No, thank you. So,
what were you going to say? You were speaking to someone?
I was speaking to a business owner in the local area who fixes clothes, so as an alterations person. And his majority of his work actually comes from the bridal industry. He does a lot of wedding dresses for Mariana Hardwick and does all the alterations, etc.
Yep.
So you know, his business has gone.
Yeah.
But basically, I said to him, well, why aren't you making masks or something like that? He said, what, for $15, $10, $20 a time? I said, but you can make 1,000 masks at $20 and make $20,000. And his eyes just went, oh.
I can't see your eyes, but I'm imagining them.
his eyes literally just rolled back in his head, and he went, "Oh my God!" So
not to mention the impact he has. Not to mention the impact he has on curbing this bloody thing. The impact every mask sold. How many lives might that impact in a real way?
Yeah. You're exactly right, David. Just, you know, people aren't thinking outside the square in those situations. They're just going, oh, well, there's no wedding dresses. That means I've got no business. And so many times recently, I've had to interfere in people's lives and just say, have you thought about this? And they're like, no. I'm like, have you thought about this? No. You know, just adapt. It's time to adapt. Like even a travel agent that I talked to, who's been really down in the dumps about the whole thing. I'm just like, there's actually all sorts of things that you can be doing. And in fact, one of the biggest things he's been doing is recovering money for people that were losing their money from bookings, things like that. So he'd told me once about how he saved a friend. The cruise got cancelled and they were about to lose everything. Like there was going to be no refunds. It was $30,000 worth of cruise bookings. And because of his contacts and all his knowledge in the travel industry, he was able to get them a full refund. And because I knew that about him, so another friend of mine recently posted, oh, does anyone know any lawyers? I need to get back my cruise money for Europe. Flight Centre don't want anything to do with me. They've said there's no refunds and the cruise company will only give me a ticket again next year, and we can't go next year because my kid's in VCE, blah, blah, blah. And so first of all, I said to her, don't waste your money talking to a lawyer. I said, just talk to this guy. And within literally a few emails and a few phone calls, he had gotten her full refund on the cruise. It was like $9,000 returned that she wouldn't have got from anyone else. No one else was giving a shit about her. So, and
Jerry,
so yes,
it's David again.
Yes.
I think that Alistair was right before. You've got this masterful business that you could be incorporating for yourself. You're leaving lots of cash on the table, my love.
All
these people.
Yeah.
You. You're the coach extraordinaire, and you're just doing it out of love.
I just like leaving cash on the table. Anyway, yeah. So now, you know, he was one of these people that had never even charged for this service. Like when he saved that person the $30,000 on cruises or whatever. Yeah, they rebooked with him, but he made like a couple $100 commission out of local flights. Like it wasn't much commission. It wasn't an overseas trip where they make all their money. And I said, dude, you should have been charging him like a 5% finder's fee. And that was just foreign to him. So then when he helped my friend out, he said, what should I charge her? I said, charge her a 5% finder's fee. I said, what's $400 in the scheme of $8,000 or whatever it was that you got for her? I said, if she had gotten a lawyer involved, she wouldn't have got anywhere and she would have had a lot bigger bill. than $400. I said, someone is going to be so grateful that you've gotten them $8,000 back. There's no way they would get angry about paying you $400 to find that. So now I've turned that around for him, and he's finding other ways to help people and make a bit of money on the side. So, yeah, so positive communication. And this is your time to lead your tribe. And it can't just be done through emails alone. So sorry if you were just thinking that you can get away with just emails. But even if you're just making videos at home, using Zoom, as rough as anything you want, you don't even have to have your makeup on. Hell, I do Facebook Live all the time for All for One. And I just put this little pretty filter on and it puts my makeup on for me. So you just, there's so many things that you can do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it done. Don't tell anyone my secret about the videos. And the communication has to be more open.
Where do we find the pretty button?
More than ever before. Well, if you do a Facebook Live on your phone, there's a little magic wand button, and you can put all these filters on. You know, you can put stupid hats on your head and stuff. And it might not.
I just want the pretty one.
It might not suit you, David, but there's this one of like this woman with blonde hair, and I just press that one, and it gives me a bit of a lippy and a bit of foundation on.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
It might look good on you, David, actually. But for the bald men out there, it doesn't give you the hair. So I challenge you guys to start a video challenge for your own personal branding, because your personal branding is one of the biggest and best things that you can do. And I know that Sandra is doing that really well on LinkedIn. So well done, Sandra, for doing that and getting on video. So
certainly not perfect, but I don't aspire to be perfect. I think you've got to be yourself.
That's
and make the mistakes and mumble along and be human, because when you're like that, you're a lot more relatable.
Yeah.
And, you know, you connect better, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And they don't have to be perfect. So well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So my little example here is just of our B&I chapter. Now, when I joined my B&I chapter, it's probably because I joined, it was like 18 people in the chapter, and it wasn't performing that well. It wasn't in the top 10 or anything like that. Like, in fact, it was barely in the top 20 in the Melbourne region. And since then, we're now hovering between number 1 and number 2 in the region, and we've gone up to nearly 30 members. And even since COVID hit, we've got another, I don't know, 7 or something new members, which is massive growth, the biggest growth in the area. And why has this happened is because we've made the experience for the visitors so amazing and tested and measured and improved it every week. That's why it's happening. So you can see that's some of our chapter there having a little wave. But what I wanted to point out here was this is kind of the B&I story has got a little bit to do with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, you know, this is again another pyramid shaped thing, but what you're doing with Maslow's hierarchy is, you know, taking people up the pyramid basically, and taking them from their most basic needs, which is down the bottom, physiological, which is, you know, food and water and shelter and stuff, and then safety and protection and security and belongingness and love, esteem, self-actualization. And I made a video for the director of B&I Melbourne Central, and you're not meant to hear this, but he just said to me, because I've sped this up, but he said to me, I don't want this video to be about me, Jerry. It's just, I look like a wanker just sitting here on the couch talking about myself. I said, I want you to make it about these people that did this thing called the Caravan of Love. And he said how that they went out to all of these members' houses and they gave them bickies and made them feel all special. And, you know, for members that were really, really down in the dumps, they were there to lift them up. And he said, that's what I want you to make this video about. And what he's doing here is he's, you know, really taking people up this pyramid, and he's probably brought them to like that sort of yellow level of the belongingness and the love and everything like that, because he's making people really feel about how it is a real sense of belonging and community, and it's the members don't stay for, they join to grow their business, but they actually stay because of the relationships. And so that was the message that he wanted to get across, and that was, I felt like a good example of bringing people up that pyramid. And of course, this is the pyramid as it looks like in 2020. It's the basic needs is toilet paper these days, so it's just changed a little bit. The pyramid, that's a bit of a joke. So no one's laughing, Jesus. Have I got permission to go a few minutes longer, everyone? Because we're kind
There's
of...
plenty of us on mute laughing, I promise.
Okay. I know I shared that joke last week, but anyway. So
and
yeah.
You are on song. David set the way. You can go like 30 minutes over and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Blame me. Well, that's fine.
People can leave. Yeah.
Oh, got to blame somebody. That's the world we live in.
Yeah, this bloody world of laying blame, justification. Take responsibility, Jerry, and just do it.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
So just remembering with this pyramid, that all your stakeholders need support, and consider what your business is doing to address the most basic needs of people, and moving them up. So, what are restaurants doing? They're addressing the most basic needs of people by feeding them, but they might be doing other things. They might be making them feel like they're a part of the local community or something like that. So, yeah, that's my little example there. Just another little thing I just wanted to touch on quickly is just one of the cool things that's coming to video in 2020. Well, it's already here, but is interactive video. I don't think this one plays. I think it's just a picture. Yeah, it is. So basically, this is just a really cool thing that you might not know about that you can do in videos these days. So this guy's just saying, hey, guys, which T-shirt do you want me to wear? And you go, and it pops up pink, black or green. And you go, oh, hey, I want to see you wear the black T-shirt. And then it goes, ba-ding, here I am in the black T-shirt. Well, this is where you can buy it, blah, blah, blah. So this is where video is going. It's becoming more and more interactive, and you'll be able to make decisions. And it's like choose your own adventure books, if you remember those from when you were a kid. How cool were those books? I always had to read all the endings. I never just... I chose my first one and read that ending, and then I went back and read the other endings. But if you think about how you can take your customers on their own buyer's journey or their own adventure, and you can do this through video, then how cool would that be? So this is just a little example here. I don't know.
And let's have a look at how this looks overall.
Welcome to our coffee shop. We want to give you a special discount coupon as a friendly bribe, so we can show you just how wonderful our coffee shop is. And we want to make it personal, just for you. So tell us, what would you most like to come in and try?
I'm going to select Americano.
You want an Americano? Good choice. Tell us where to send your special discount coupon, and we look forward to serving you and your friends real soon.
I'm sorry, but that guy did not look like he was enjoying his Americano. But you can see the kind of things that are possible these days, like to be able to, send this out to a customer base and make them feel a part of the decision-making process, or the, whatever it is. There's so many different really cool things that you could do with interactive video. And the other cool thing that is coming up is like virtual reality in business too. So this is getting really big in real estate and even construction. So I'm working with a client who's a builder, and instead of building display homes, he's actually just building his display homes in virtual reality, and people will be able to take a full tour of the property and go, oh, I don't like the kitchen in that color. What's it look like in the other color palette? Oh, boop, there, press the button, there you go. So there's some really, really cool things coming up in that video space too. I'm not going to play that video, but the main thing is the WIFM, WIIFM, what's in it for me? What do people need now? They need products and services delivery, I'm not talking about Uber Eats, and how are you going to communicate any new products or services or changes to your delivery. Just always be thinking about these things. What's in it for the customer? That's always what the customer's always wanting to know. What's in it for me? And how can you adjust your unique selling proposition, your USP? So just always be thinking about what these customers need and what they want to know, and put your shoes in the shoes of the customer. What are your feet in the shoes of the customer? Anyway, I did promise a little bit of Yoda tonight on my video. So why have I got Yoda? Because with video and marketing, there is no try. You do or do not. There is no try in marketing. So you can't get it wrong. Well, you can, but just remember the wise words of Yoda, that try not, do or do not. There is no try. And just remember that in your videos as well, that you are not the hero, Luke. You are Yoda, teaching the young hero how to tackle the dark side. So this is for like your personal branding videos and everything. It's not all about rah, 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 look how good I am. This is all about you telling people how they can be the hero. So just remember that in all of your marketing. Thanks for the big thumbs up there, David. So after I slandered Coca Cola, I did find this ad. And if it doesn't make you cry, then there's something wrong with you, okay? So I just love this, and I'm just going to play it. If it made you cry. All right.
That is certainly a cool video. Nice to see them doing something different.
I know. Wow. That's what I thought. So, yeah, I did have a go at them at the start of the night, but then when I found that video, I thought, well done, Coca Cola. You know. So you didn't even see their brand until the end. So, and that's it. It really did.
It wasn't obvious, but it was subtle at the beginning with the red and white and that script. We all know.
And that's what, right? I mean, Coca-Cola's done that their whole lives. They're Coca-Cola responsible for making Santa red and white. He used to be green, but it was Coca-Cola that made him red. So, yep. They've always had that red branding in there. But it kind of incorporates this whole message of, this is not just about you and your brand. This is how you can use your influence and your brand to get across a much bigger and better message. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you. And if you've got any questions, please let me know. And we look forward to seeing you on another call another week.
There's some pretty yeah, thank you. There's some pretty cool. The interactive videos and stuff is really interesting.
Yeah.
There's so much potential with that.
Yeah. I'm still exploring that one, and trying to think about some really cool possibilities as to what you could do with the interactive videos. So, yeah. Now,
even from an education point of view, it's really cool too.
Yeah. That's right. Now, David in China, are you still there with us? Can you hear us or speak? No, there
I'm
you
here.
are.
I was just turning off as much communication, so helps with
that's
the internet speed. But I'm here.
No, that's all right. So I believe you're gonna. Are you gonna present next week?
I can indeed. If there's a slot and no one else is up for it, I'll do it. Yeah.
We'd love to have you on. What are you gonna talk to us about?
Well, I can talk to you guys about what I do.
Yeah.
In my as an aromatherapist and yoga teacher.
Yeah.
I'm giving a workshop on Saturday actually, so I can kind of do the same presentation as what I'm doing on Saturday. Just an introduction to what I do, and I've got a keynote as well that I could kind of I'll edit it down, because the presentation I do is about 3 hours, so I can edit it down to about an hour one. And so I'm not waffling on too much.
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Dude.
All right, that's all right. I'll leave. Yep, I can cut it down. Don't worry.
Whatever you want to educate
but
us
we are not going to keep allowing this wedge to grow. It's 45 minutes. All right.
Done.
Yes, boss.
Done.
However,
Done.
after 45 minutes, we can always ask for permission. Absolutely. Just plan for that, though, is the best.
We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do.
And
yeah,
I look forward to that, Will. I really do.
Cool.
And we might have a quick chat between now and then, as we have the last few weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. That sounds good.
Good on you, man.
But yeah,
Thanks for joining. And
no worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Alistair, and everyone else.
Well, that's it.
Thanks.
Before we wrap up,
Jerry, that was fantastic.
Thanks.
That's it. Let's acknowledge Jerry. Great work.
Yeah, it's excellent.
And for those that are present tonight, last week we talked about doing a workshop series. So, these are kind of like presentations, lectures, call it what you will, right? We talked about last week after Luke's presentation. Now, for those that were there or have seen it since, like this guy, he's a sign writer, but he knows how to show the way on the internet. Like he's got a wealth of knowledge on Google and AdWords and a whole lot of stuff. So what that prompted was, let's do a workshop series. So I'm putting my hand up to talk about business. I've been in business for 20 years now, and I'm going to use, the most powerful language I can and say, I have fucked just about everything up in business that you can. And I now know how to make things work. So, and then we got Luke, who, again, doing a great job in his business and just online. Again, he blew us all away last week, right? You just heard from Jerry. Annie wants to be involved, and Annie, we'd ask you if you want to present on relationship as part of that. So anyone else that's here now, anyone else that's looking at this video, if you're in, then let us know, because I've got to pull the finger out and arrange a conversation where we set this up. At the moment, there's 4 of us, and we're going to present to each other on what we specialise in.
I'll be in it. Bridget will be in it. We'll all be in it.
Okay, fantastic. So
Tara's in it too.
Great. Now there is a post in our group where I flagged it. I don't mind a new post, whatever, but let's all get on the same page somehow. Maybe who knows? Does everyone here know Jerry, or who does everyone know the most on this call right now?
We'll probably just know each other.
Well, so Sandra knows you. Tara, I don't know Tara.
Tara knows me, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know Jerry. I know Jerry.
Yeah, okay. So
and David and I go back for years and years and years.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, Jerry, how do we facilitate this conversation? Because we've just got everyone putting their hands up, which is exciting. We just need to make that happen. So how about I'll set up a WhatsApp group, if that's all right with everybody, because Facebook communication doesn't seem to work. I'll set up a WhatsApp group. Jerry, if you can add the other guys.
Yeah. Tara says she doesn't use it, but that's all right. We can figure out.
Yeah,
and I was about to say, if you don't have WhatsApp, no problem. Yep, if you don't have it, no problem. Get on it or don't be involved. And I'm just saying that because the Facebook, we've put a poll up and we've got 4 responses. Well, actually, 2 responses because I was one of them. But, so we haven't had a lot of response on that. There's too many communication mechanisms. Just WhatsApp works. I'm using it across the board now, business, family, you name it, it works.
Tara, why can't you use it?
I don't think Tara said she can't. I think she said she doesn't.
Yeah, Al?
Yeah.
The only reason I can't use it is because the Great Firewall of China.
Yeah.
Oh, you said you can't. I thought you said you could. So
no, because I've got I tried to download it, but because I've got a Chinese phone number, it won't sync with it. I tried,
no
so it's one of the only things I can't.
I'm committed. No, I'm committed. I'm committed to including you in that conversation. All right, I'll include you in the conversation. So okay. Tara can't because she's behind the Great Firewall of China or something else. Great. Jerry, it's on you.
The Great Firewall of Ormond.
Ormond. Messenger in the group.
No, it's Ormond. She can go knock on David's door and he can help her. He lives around the corner. Easy, done.
We'll make it work somehow, even if we have old-fashioned email or as David suggested.
Why don't we just have another call, another Zoom call, where everyone gets together and you set down the rules of the game, and whoever wants to present something in the rules of the game or suggest it.
David, you're exactly right. So the idea of the WhatsApp is just to facilitate arranging a call where we can all get on. and then it will be just facilitating anything else we need to facilitate. But you're absolutely right. The idea is to get on another Zoom call where the group that wants to be involved makes it happen. Exactly.
Why don't we, as a group now of 10 people, just say not next week because somebody's already organised David for next week, but the week after we have that call and we don't put it out online.
Okay, that's fine too.
Is that easier for everyone? So then it's arranged. And in the